Yep. Last two. They're both natural log type problems. First step, division, beautiful. So natural log x minus 2 over x plus 1. You can put those in parentheses if you like. It doesn't matter. Equals 1. What's wrong? What's wrong? Did I write something wrong? Okay. Okay, now you say to yourself, cross out or Guinan circle. This one's Guinan circle, so I'm changing it to log base e x plus 2 over x minus, no, I did that wrong. This is why we live in erasable pen. X minus 2 over x plus 1 equals 1. Guidance circle. E to the 1 equals x minus 2 over x plus 1. On your quiz, this is where a lot of you got stuck for some reason. We will see now. For each person, it was a little different. So multiply both sides by x plus 1. You have to multiply by the whole thing. Okay, now this is where it gets a little weird because your brain, I'm assuming from being told to distribute your whole math career, you just really want to distribute that really, really bad. But I'm going to tell you that's not going to get you anywhere because you want to get x by itself, right? So we have to like combine stuff first here. So no, actually trying to think of the easiest that would make the most sense to you guys. What? Let's just distribute. It just looks weird is all. It's okay. Okay. How do you feel about this? Okay. All right. Just okay. This is what we're gonna do. I'm just afraid that you'll look back at this and you won't be able to figure out what you did. This is what we're gonna do instead. Okay. Is that better? I don't know. I feel like you could figure this out, but the other thing, I don't know. All right, guys, how do I round this? Yeah, negative 2.7459. I guess the moral of the story here is if you get stuck with the E in the problem and you don't know what to do with it, just change it to 2.7183 and just keep going. Gosh, the next one's going to seem really simple after this, which is good. Yeah, I know. Okay, so this is division again. Natural log negative x over 9 equals the natural log of 9. This problem's going to take about, what, 10% of the space. Cross out. Times by 9 on both sides. Divide by negative 1. What's wrong, Nolan? If you have two x's, you have to combine them before you solve for x. What? What if you had like, how would you solve that? Distribute it, so 2x plus 2 equals x minus 2. And then what would you do after that, Nolan? But what would you do after that, Nolan? Are you sure? Do you see the minus x from? Okay. It's just gross because of the decimales. This. You thought I just magically subtracted x and then it got the same thing. I'm okay. Sorry about that. All right. Hold on the phone real quick. Before you start this, let me do the agenda. Last joke of the year. Last slideshow of the year. Last notes of the year, minus the review notes of the chapter, of course. Okay. First thing we're going to do is review the difference between standard form and graphing form of a parabola. And then I'm going to teach you something about parabolas that requires you to know how to do a system in 3 variables. Okay, do you remember what we learned last Friday? How to solve a system in 3 variables? This is another application of that that's completely separate, but it uses the same math. Homework is 107 to 113, and this is my joke. Oh, it's a guy that spray painted the sine wave, and it says gang signs. Yeah, do you get it? It says gang sign. Yeah. Okay, I ended on a good note, you're saying? Okay. Set up your notebook, guys. Yeah, jokes are over, slideshows are over, warm-ups are over.
bring back the judge. We have like the points.
No.
Won't petition.
I should do more. Yes, that's what the children always say. But you should do more. Are you guys ready? I can't go too fast on this. I will lose people, so you need to hurry now. Guys, I just updated this right here. It says graphing/vertex now. All right, so for the last lesson of the year, this is something that will come back in Guinan. Guinan will teach you an entire chapter called conics. And conics is parabolas, circles, ellipses, and hyperbola, and all of their transformations, all their HK and, stretch factor, A, whatnot. This is a little baby send off for that chapter. I think he was working on it like a month ago, so it'll be Aprilish of next year. But anyway, here we go. Standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's what standard form of a parabola looks like. You guys have done a lot of work on that this year. The first thing I want you to know about it is c is the y-intercept. That really shouldn't be news, I'm hoping. A TC, I just spelled that. I know how to spell. Swear to you. Just Monday. A is the stretch factor. So C is the y-intercept. A is the stretch factor. You can do stuff with this. You can get the x-intercepts by factoring or quad formula. And you can get the vertex by averaging the x-intercepts and plugging that number back in. While you're writing that, super fun throwback. If I can find it. Gosh, is it really that far back? I'm just gonna keep looking, and then I'll give you your super fun throwbacks. Okay, Now, graphing vertex form. Some teachers call it graphing form, some teachers call it vertex form, the math 2 teachers. So I want to put both here. And that's a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Oh, here it is. Here you go. Here's your super fun throwback. This is September 12th. We took these notes together. There's your standard form. You found the x-intercepts by factoring. Then you average them to find the axis of symmetry, and then you plugged it back in to get the vertex. So that was fun back on September 12th. What can we do with graphing in vertex form? So we know the vertex is HK. A is still the stretch factor. That's the same in both of these. And I don't know if you remember, but finding the x-intercepts from this or the y-intercepts is really awful. So you have to actually graphing a vertex form is not great for x-intercepts. You have to take this part here and make a box, multiply that out, distribute the A, get it to look like this. And then you have to do the factoring, average it, plug it back in. It's terrible, but it's okay because you know, we don't ask you to do that super often. I don't think I've ever asked you to do that. So that's just a tiny baby review for you about standard form of a parabola and graphing vertex form of a parabola, what their strengths and weaknesses are, basically. For this section, this last section in the book here, we're going to work in standard form only. The reason is because to ask you to do what we're going to do here, and then to ask you to put it in vertex form would be really, really mean. It would be like every problem would be like a whole page. And I'm not going to do that to you. So we're going to work in standard form only. Okay, here we go. Now I need you to channel what you know from last Friday for this. This is all exactly what we did last Friday. I know it doesn't look like it, but it is. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these all as X, Y coordinates. That's an XY, that's an XY, and that's an XY. And I'm going to take the standard form equation, which is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And I'm going to create a system just like what we had Friday with this. So I'm going to kind of start it over here. So take this first coordinate, 1, 0. Do you see that y is 0? Okay, so I have 0 equals a times 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c. Okay, let's pause. I need to make sure you understand what I just did. I took this thing, the standard form, and I put 0 in the y spot, and I put 1 in the x spot. Does that make sense? Okay, now we're going to do it with the 2 comma 5. 5 equals a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c. Okay, now I'm going to do it with the 12, 3. 12 equals a times 3 squared plus b times 3 plus c. Do you see now how it's starting to look like what we did Friday? Anybody? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Now we're going to clean this up. So 0 equals. Do you guys all know that 1 squared is 1? And do you know that we don't normally write ones as leading coefficients? So this would be a plus b plus c. Do you see how this is 1a, 1b, and c? Okay, now this one. 5 equals 2 squared is 4. So 4a plus 2b plus c. Okay, what would this one be? Yep, 12 equals 9a plus 3b plus c. Okay, these actually are slightly better than the ones we did last Friday because they all have plane C. And I always solve these exactly the same way. I always eliminate C. Why would I want to eliminate C? Because they're all plane C. That makes it the easiest one to eliminate. I don't even question what to eliminate here. I just eliminate C immediately. So I always group them together the same way too. I do 1 and 2 and 1 and 3. I don't even think about it. It doesn't matter because C is always just going to be plain C. Hi. Okay. Hi. Again, super important. Always eliminate the C's first. Why? Because they're always going to be plain C's in this problem. And I always put 1 and 2 together and 1 and 3 together. I just don't think about it. You don't have to do that. You can do different combinations if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, to eliminate the C's, what do we do if they're both the same sign? Yeah, so I'm going to take this bottom one here and multiply that by -1. And I'm going to take this bottom one here and multiply that by -1. Make sure that you understand this is not -1. This is multiplication by -1. You might want to put your -1s in the front. eliminate the C's, eliminate the C's. Negative 5 equals negative 3a minus b. Negative 12 equals negative 8a minus 2b. Okay, which variable should we eliminate from this little system? A's or B's? B's. And what do we want to do to eliminate the B's? Okay, so this is negative 2b, right? To cancel that out, what does this need to become? Positive 2b. So how do I make this positive 2b? Multiply it by negative 2. Anyone is getting nervous about how far down I am in this page? Well, it's okay. It's going to be fine. You guys know what I'm doing here? I took the A and I'm plugging it into this to get B. Okay, last bit on this one. Which one of the three original equations is our favorite? The first one, for sure. I think. It doesn't matter which one you pick, but I'm lazy, so A plus B plus C. If you're needing extra direction on your notes, you could add this just to know where we got that from, so you could plug it in. Okay, the work part is done, and some of you might have written me a lovely coordinate answer in alphabetical order, but that would not be what I asked for. Sadly, I asked for the equation in standard form. I did not ask for a coordinate. This is not about A, B, and C axis and where things cross. This is about finding the equation in standard form. So what you have to do is take this guy here and put the A, the B, and the C in. Okay, so final answer is y equals, well, A is 1. Should we just write it? I know we would never leave it like that, but 1x squared plus 2x minus 3. If I was going to leave this, I would just say x squared plus 2x minus 3, but I'm going to put the 1 there just because it's notes so you guys can see what happened. Okay, we're doing one more and then we're done. One more problem. Then we're done with notes the whole year. Same thing. All right. Here we go. By the way, when we were doing that last one, did anyone think about how terrible it would be to have to put that in vertex form? If I asked you to do that, that would be such a jerk move. That'd be really bad. Okay. Nothing is worth that. All right. So 10 equals A times 3 squared plus B times 3 plus C. Do you see where that came from? Excellent. Okay. 36 equals A times 5 squared plus B times 5 plus C. 15 equals A times -2 squared. Make sure to put parentheses there. We made it all year and still people are doing that wrong. Okay, so this is going to be 9A plus 3B plus C. 36 equals 25A plus 5B plus C. Okay, tell me what the last one would be. Think before you say 15 equals 4A minus 2B plus C. You can put plus negative if you want to. I just think this looks cleaner. Again, these are nice. We don't have to think about what to eliminate, and we don't have to think about what goes with what best. We just go for it. You guys will get faster. When you do these, you'll write the second one multiplied by -1 already, or the top one multiplied by -1. You'll do it while writing instead of writing it twice, but This one's kind of annoying in the fact that there's really not a super good elimination for A or B. I'm thinking I'm just gonna multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by 2. Does that make sense? If I multiply the top by 5, I have negative 10b. And if I multiply the bottom by 2, I get positive 10b, and those will cancel. Do you see what I'm saying? So think in your mind, the distributive here would give me negative 10b and positive 10b, and those would cancel out. There's really not a good one on this one, sadly. All that for 2. At least we got 2. When we can get like something terrible. I don't really know which original one's best. Anyone have a vote on which original one is best? Number 1, 3. I'm gonna go with 1. Okay. Ax squared plus 3x plus c.